every bloody time I gotta do a thing, and then my body goes, oh, hang on, you've got to go to the toilet. And I just fucking won't. I don't need to go. But then I need to go. Or I'll be sat here and then I need to really, really go. Every time I go leave the fucking house, and then little Mr. Body goes, oh, you gotta poop or you're gonna shit your pants right now. So then I have to go poop before I go. So I've got to be ready to go early, knowing I'm gonna need to poop. This time it was only a wee. I only needed to go number one, just a quick little one, a 1-1 wee, a little wee oneer. And I just went in the sink because it's just a little bit closer. Just go in the sink, nice and easy. A little bit closer than the toilet. I mean, I only have to turn like 90 degrees to the left, and then the toilet's right there. But you know, it's just easy, isn't it? Anyway, drawings. What shall I bloody draw? Well, it's Buttvember. I'm drawing butts in many different mediums. Large, extra large, extra large. Small, extra large. The next medium of choice I thought would be fun to try. I've done a bunch, nothing too over the top or extravagant, because, you know, I'm neither over the top nor extravagant. But I thought it'd be cool to do them on black paper. I thought I'd torn all the drawings. Oh, that was a fun one. I got this sketchbook after that illustration contest thing from Gecko Sketch or whatever. I did a review of the sketchbook. There's a video. Look it up. Maybe I'll link it. I probably won't. I did a review of the sketchbook, and then I think at the end of the review, I held up their logo and said, "Rape babies and racial slurs and whatever," just because I could. Because it wasn't a sponsored video, so I could say what I wanted. It didn't matter. And I sent them the drawings over Instagram just to say, hey, I tried out your sketchbook. It was good. I even did a video review. And then I guess they watched a bit of the review and went, that's really funny. I like that you're not like, you know, your average sort of, hey, this sketchbook's great. You're a bit, you know, dark or whatever. And then they obviously finished watching it, and then they deleted their comment that they'd sent me previously. I think they obviously watched the rest of it and realised I was holding up their logo and saying awful things, and they retracted their previous comment saying they liked how funny I was, when they obviously decided that I was not funny any longer. Half the sketchbook was white, half of it was black. I've done a couple of shitty little doodles, just for a quick testy test. And then I also realised this was on my shelf. I'd obviously bought this at some point, which is an entire book of black paper. So I'm veritably drowning in black paper. So I won't use the Gecko sketchbook because they've obviously decided they probably don't want anything to do with me. I'm not saying they actively hate me and wish they'd never given me a sketchbook and wish that I hadn't used it and said things during... Oh, well, that's great, isn't it? Fuck off. But they probably would rather I didn't carry on doing what I do, which is breathing. They probably wish I was dead. Coloured pencils. These were a gift from a friend. That's not relevant. But whatever. Some of them are missing. They've obviously been used and broken. They're good pencils. These are the good pencils that I believe do this. Yeah. They work on black paper. Because I know some pencils don't. You get like the shitty cheap ones that don't. But these ones do. Wow. Did you know I've got quite a talent for writing backwards? It seems to be something I'm relatively good at. See, that says ewan. And shall we go to obvious? Penis. So I thought I'd have a little draw with some fucking on some black paper. Yeah, just a bit different, bit of fun, a little bit of fun. Have a bit of fun. Now, I mean, you can use black over them, I guess, but maybe it's best not to. So you've got to think about what you're drawing different. Obviously, I'm just drawing my guy here. Non-gender specific, just general person. Sometimes I use it as a way to express ideas and emotions that I feel personally, or to illustrate situations I've personally been in. But it was never specifically a self-portrait. This boy, it was never a self-portrait. It was just an embodiment of certain thoughts and feelings, which, you know, I would sometimes put my name to. So I'd draw it and say, look, Ewan is a shit. So understandably, people would think, oh, it's like a self-portrait. But it's not, and it never was. And it still isn't to this day. And I say non-gender specific because, I mean, drawing women to look like women can be hard sometimes. Because if you draw just person, like that's just person, it's whatever. I was going to draw penis. And that's whatever. And I know, gender is a construct and it doesn't know the thing, but in general, drawing that's the drawing of a guy. But then if you want to draw a girl, there's like, I don't know, they've got bigger feet and like tits and stuff, and there's more to them. There's more parts that you've got to focus on, which is why I draw the nudes, because they're studies. So it's actually trying to study the female body and all its forms and fucking disease holes that it has. So, which is why I don't draw guys' bodies generally in the same way I draw girls' bodies, because guys' bodies are shit. They're just silly lumps of fucking pink clay. They're uninteresting. Who wants to fucking draw that shit? Not me, sir. Not me. That's who. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just playing right now. It layers weird. I guess maybe it's better to like press fucking hard. Oh, but then you get a weird texture. I don't like that. Maybe not press too hard then, eh? Oh, it's a bit of a weird, tricky one. Maybe it's better to start with the darker colours then. I'm experimenting live in front of you right the fuck now. Let's experimente. If I use the darker colours first, and then maybe use the light colours on top, that might generate a better image. See, I was thinking I could just colour the darker colours over the lighter colours and be done with it, thinking that would be okay. There's too much difference between these two colours. Shit. Maybe that was the issue all along. I've lost my white pencil. I think I did take that white pencil out and use it for separate things, and then it got like used and broken and lost along the way, which is a shame because it'd be quite a useful one to use for highlight. But if I really want to highlight something, I figure I could do this, get the old trusty text and go, oh, it doesn't come out good on pencil. You know, highlights and shit, yeah. But this is experimentation, because then I will eventually draw a bum and then make sure it's going to come out how I sort of hope it might come out. You get a bit of a blend in there, that's not bad. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think it's best to start with the darker colours. And then you can sort of put the lighter ones on top, fade them in a little bit. Get a nice drawing done. That actually looks pretty cool. I quite like that. That's pretty fucking fun, isn't it? I mean, it's not the fucking greatest artwork I've ever produced, but oh, I did have a topic of discussion to talk about. I guess quite a serious topic of discussion. Let's have a little play around. Draw a picture on some black paper with some coloured pencils. See how it goes. Is this kind of? I think it's more of a red, a bit of a cross between the two. And then I could talk about the guy I know who killed himself recently. It's not been weighing on my mind as such. You know, it was a bit of a shock to hear about. But it's more to do with the how and why and wherefore sort of is encompassed within something I've mentioned before. Oh, my tone's gotten very dull and dry and serious all of a sudden, isn't it? Oh dear. Very sombre. Oh, let's talk about my dead friend. I was going to say I shouldn't call him a friend. Not that I shouldn't call him a friend, but the fact is we weren't really like friends. It's this guy I knew. I'll tell you what. That's quite a cool little experiment. Let's get more into it after this. Let's take a look at an art book. Kind of an art book. It's like the making of section of a DVD in a book. It's the Shape of Water, the making of book of The Shape of Water. Now, Guillermo del Toro, obviously very, very creative, good director. Seen Hellboys and shit, love them. Love, I don't know, some of the other stuff he's done. I saw Shape of Water, and it was okay. The design and stuff was really, really good, actually. That's probably one of my favourite parts of it. The film was kind of like, like I got it, I get it. I think they managed to squeeze a lot into a short space of time, which was almost to the film's detriment. Like, everything elevated very, very quickly, which I'm not sure was necessarily grand. Oh, that's neat. That's very cool. If you're going to make a book, do that shit. That's cool. It's like a notebook page stuck in the thing. But yeah, I like the design and, you know, prosthetics, physical design things are always better than CG shitting eye. I got this book ages and ages ago, looked through it for about a minute and then put it down, and then it was under a bunch of stuff. I basically forgot that I had it. So let's both the two of us currently here, let's have a look through it. Well, they've done that quite a bunch of times. That's cool. I like those. I assume that's Del Toro doing his little designs. I can't say much. I watched the film once and it was sort of okay, so I don't have like details about it or anything. I saw the book, okay, saw the book and was like, hey, let's fucking look at a book. I like books, let's look at a book. Michael Shannon is fucking good. He's a very, very good actor. He's good in the film where he plays, I think, the Iceman or something, where he plays a serial killer. He's good in this film where, I forget the name of it, but he has these dreams that like bad shit's going to happen, and then he like quits his job and starts digging a bunker in the back garden because he's certain that like this post-apocalyptic shit's going on, and it all goes a bit crazy. And then at the end, there's like maybe he was right. These were like prophetic dreams. Oh, I don't know. That's cool. This is what we're here for. These cool design drawings, man. That's what we like. I mean, information about all the characters is like cool and whatever. Likes and dislikes. People do this with their OCs, which is, I mean, if you're making a character, you do whatever you want. Whatever you want to do, that's fine. But I just get a bit tired seeing these details, like drawing of character from the front, from the side, and then likes, dislikes. Plus, the likes and dislikes are always likes, like liberal stuff, LGBTQ plus A plus plus, and veganism and pro-sexual stuff and body positivity, and dislikes Nazis and fucking Trump and right-wing people and taxes and it's just like, yeah, obviously everyone likes and dislikes those things. Be more fucking interesting than that. You fucking there we go, designing the creature, creating rather. Cool, man. Cool. I've a very, very dear friend who does this now full time. She did it at university, special effects sculpting and makeup and stuff, and now she straight out of university she got a job because she's fucking good, and I told her she was fucking good that she'd get snatched up straight away, and she did because she's really fucking good. So now she does it full time, and as such I've gotten quite a few followers within that industry that I follow also. I'm not just having them follow me and not following them back because I love what they do. They do amazing sculpting and stuff, so I get to see quite a lot of this through Instagram and stuff. And I'm hoping that my sort of links to the industry will allow me to just, I don't know, hang out at the studio and get paid to give ideas now and again, which isn't really a job, but let me do it anyway. That's really cool. Obviously, these are like rough sculpts, which are cool, you know, working out the ideas, and then they refine it, and that's really, really, really good. That's something that, like, drawing's cool. Drawings are cool. We like drawing, obviously. But sculpting is like a whole other level of, like, you're actually physically creating some shit. All the textures and stuff they do. Oi, man, that's good. We like that. Look at that shit. Imagine that being your job. What did you do today? Oh, I made a 6 foot tall fish man out of clay, and then we cast it as a rubber suit and put it on this guy. And it was really good. Like, it's hard to paint texture and shit at the best of times, but when you're doing it to that realistic level on an actual thing that's going to be worn and moving around, that's some next level shit, man. Obviously designing all the separate pieces of the costume and how they go together. That's cool. And it takes hours and hours to just fucking get the suit on and apply all the makeup and stuff. It's insane. Just to make a film about a girl who fucks a fish monster. Oh, spoilers, she fucks the fish monster. You don't see it. You see, like, the lead up to it, and then afterwards it's heavily implied, where she basically does say, yeah, I fucked him. Which is, you know, I would. I'm not saying, like, I'd fuck a mermaid in a second. But then I'd fuck a cardboard box, so it's not really... this is cool, but this is like, to me, it's cool, but it's not as impressive because this is like just refining colours and shit, I guess. Whereas when it comes to actually building the creature, that's what I get the horn for. These are all very cool, but that's, I guess, an actual model the guy's painting. That's fucking good. We like that shit. We like that shit a lot. Putting his contacts in. I think it's rightly so. They've got like the biggest section of the book is creating the creature, because that's the thing about the film, isn't it? It's all the design and stuff around the film. I like where it's set and like the designs of the scenes and things, but the creature is sort of the reason for it all. So the focus should be on him, rightly so. She fucks him. Whoa. Fucking weirdo. It's got like robotics and stuff in it. Oh, because it's bioluminescent, I guess. Yeah, so they have lights and shit. The production. Yeah, the sets and things. Probably won't spend as much time looking at these. Unless anything looks particularly interesting. Like, it's all really cool, well-designed stuff. But it's actually it's the sort of thing I should look at more, and anyone should, because if you want to do concept art, if you want to do comics, this is the sort of shit you need to be paying attention to, because everyone draws action scenes and muscly people fighting and shooting each other, broads fucking with strap-ons, if you're doing those kinds of comics. But it's the interiors that because it's too easy to draw a person and talking to other person and then just draw like door in background because they're in room. But if you want to really give a sense of like where they are, then even just small details like the shape of the room and rafters and stuff, shit you've got to pay attention to at some point if you want to give your world a real sort of lived in feel or whatever. All just stuff. It's too easy to leave out all the stuff to just draw fridge, cooker. But you've got to fill your world with all kinds of shit, piles of books and paints. And the old man in the film is a painter, so that's like he does paintings for advertisements because he's selling his soul for the advertising money. God. I like this shit. This shit's cool. I don't really know if there's a name for it, like just industrial machinery and stuff. It's pretty cool. Like Bioshock, that kind of shit. Bioshock, Fallout, those sorts of games with all of this kind of shit. And again, if you're, obviously I say comics because that's, a large part, not primarily, but a large part of what I do. So to use that as an example, if you're doing comics and it comes up in the script and it says draw like containment, chamber for fucker to lay in, it's easy to just draw a box that you can sleep in, but like this looks like a real thing rather than just like a plastic coffin or something. That looks like a real working machine with the levers and the switches and stuff, gas fucking things, even down to like this reminds me very much of hospital beds, the way the frame is put together here. So it's got like some real world application to it. It's smart, man. Shit you've got to pay attention to. That's pretty cool stuff. Designs. Is that like wall fucking things, I guess? Used as murals. Maybe here and I don't know. Yeah, there you go. The wall murals. like mosaic sort of things. It's pretty sexy. Torturing the fish. Yay! That's what we like. Torture the poor helpless animals. Stuff and things. Oh, he's doing little painty paints. The paint on the hand thing, I know a lot of people do that because I think for me it's usually I've got a little bit too much paint on the brush, so I might just get a little bit off my finger because my hand's right here. So a little bit of paint off on my hand and then paint as I'm painting. In the opening of the film The Mist, which is a really good film, based on, I don't know if it's based on Stephen King's writing, but it's got loads of actors in it that are in like Stephen King film adaptions or whatever. The main character in that is an artist, and at the beginning you see him like painting, but almost using his hand like a palette, painting a picture, a movie poster, which was done by Drew Struzan, who is like a big time poster artist for all those films and every film basically. Look him up, Drew Struzan. You figure out how to spell it. He said, because I saw in one of his books, it referenced the painting that was done in The Mist by the guy using his hand as a palette or whatever. He pointed out that that's stupid and real painters don't do that fucking thing on the hand thing. That's dumb. Which I like. I like that he pointed it out and said that's fucking, I don't know who's this, because Drew Struzan, the artist, taught the guy in the film a few basic things of like how to hold a brush so he looked like a real artist in the film. But then he said, I don't know who told him to do the paint on the hand thing, because I didn't, because that's fucking stupid. So I really like that. There's an unnecessary detail about a completely other film for you. I think Drew Struzan has done stuff with, he's done Hellboy posters. I think he did a Pan's Labyrinth poster. So he's done stuff with Del Toro, which is cool. You know, they're all one big club of creative wonderment. Oh, fancy. But yeah, I mean, like I say, I don't mix paints. I use my hand just to wipe paint off if I've got too much. I know it's quite a common thing to see, is the old paint on the hand thing, but it's up to you, ain't it? You do what you want. Don't let a lifelong big name professional artist tell you what you should and shouldn't be doing. What does he know? I like these. I'd like to do books with this sort of stuff in, but I think it's the sort of thing I'd have to get the book published and then add this shit in myself, unless it was like a proper, real big name publisher and they were cool to add in loads of extra shit that they didn't really need to. And that was that book. Titan Books. Yeah, Titans are good. Maybe they'll publish something that I do. Maybe. Probably not. But I recorded some stuff of me talking about the guy I know who had killed himself. But I think I was maybe talking a bit. It was getting a bit dark, and I was maybe using that for part of the sort of reasons why he did that, to sort of lean towards my own argument for certain things, because I've known the family, and so I have some information about it that isn't really out to the public. Not that like anyone who would watch this knows, but I figured maybe it isn't really my place to say anything about it. So Uh, it happened and it sucks, but uh, sorry, I'm just thinking I used that to segue into like not segue, but I did that and then like more after this, and then the art book, and then now I'm just like yeah, about that. So I'm not gonna talk about that. Consider that just a bit of a look. I've been drawing a bum just as practice. This is what I was drawing while I was talking about it. Just testing colours and stuff. Let's draw. Let's draw a boblin. Everyone likes boblins, don't they? Eh? Funny little boblins. Yeah, I was gonna talk about it and how it relates to sort of some of my own opinions on certain things, but I mean that's a bit. Maybe that's a bit much to take that and do that with it. So I stopped recording, got rid of that video, and let's do something a bit more light-hearted. I've been having a bit of a weird time of late. I've been seeing a therapist, a theraponist, once a week for the last few months for a little while, which is cool. It's going well so far. I mean, it's not going bad. I'm not cured of anything. But I have been, I guess, diagnosed with PTSD, which is, obviously the go-to sort of remark would be, "Oh, have you been in a war?" Obviously, no. That's just one sort of obvious place you can, PTSD can come up. But I mean, I'd never once considered that I might have that might be something I have to deal with. I heard about it and it's a thing, and I go, oh yeah, that's sucks if people have to do that, but whatever. And then my therapist was showing me these like worksheets and definitions and stuff, and so reading through those, I was like, oh yeah, that's me. That's like literally the examples given of like how you would define PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, is literally like word for word, what I've been dealing with regards to mental health, state of mind, how you approach situations and the world around you and stuff. I'm especially lately very avoidant of things. I try to avoid everything ever, even just going to the store, just avoiding people, and certain aspects of my life, family and such, I avoid at all costs. I have very vivid dreams, bad dreams, I guess you'd call them, nightmares, that wake me up. And literally this last week, I mentioned it obviously to the therapist, that I had a very bad dream recalling sort of incidents that had happened when I was younger, and I woke up like suddenly, like and the from my sort of rib cage up was just soaked in sweat, like that portion of my bed. I didn't wet the bed. I'm not a pee piss the bed baby. I didn't. Okay, just so we're clear, didn't wet the bed. It was from the rib cage. That's why I was very careful to use the word rib cage upwards. Nothing below the waist got wet. It wasn't that. I didn't piss the bed. So my upper body, upper torso pissed the bed, and my pillow was soaked in sweat. Like, I've never had that. I mean, maybe once when I was like a teenager that happened, but yeah, it was pretty severe from this sort of dream I had, recalling, like I say, certain events regarding certain people, or a certain person. and things that had happened. And then my doctor was like, yeah, that's, and because of that, that happened earlier in the week. And because of that happening, I wasn't going to bed. I was only trying to sleep when I physically could not hold myself up any longer. I was just killing time, like playing video games, trying to draw a little bit, but having a bit of trouble with that lately. So yeah, just doing stuff, watching things, playing video games, whatever, cooking until 3, 4, 5 in the morning until I physically could not stay awake anymore. Then I'd go to bed because I know I'd fall asleep right away because I couldn't bring myself to try to sleep just laying in bed thinking, because I knew I'd end up just thinking about that sort of stuff. And I don't know, I've never really had a panic attack as such. Maybe some sort of like anxiety induced not like a panic attack, but like being close, where I start breathing heavier and I have difficulty controlling how I'm feeling and stuff. But I've never really had like a panic attack or something. But I can sort of tell if I keep thinking about certain things, then that could end up happening or something. I don't know. But yeah, so again, said all this to Mr. Therapizer, and he said, yeah, that's some fucking PTSD right there, you son of a bitch. You stupid, bearded little fucking bitch boy. Cry boy, piss baby, piss the bed, beard boy. What are you going to do? You're going to piss the bed again? Oh, little pissy piss baby, piss the bed. Wee, wee. I didn't piss the bed. I don't have a white, so I'll give him yellow eyes, I guess. It's weird doing this because you have to... Normally, you put the pressure on the outside and then less pressure as you go in to make the thing lighter. But because you've got to work the opposite way. So you've got to be... Like those inverted drawings I did. I should just actually do one on this black paper, shouldn't I? It'd be perfect, really. You've got to be hard on the highlights and then less so in the shadows, yes. Yeah, so that's something I've been dealing with, which is weird. It puts a lot on your mind to be told, it's PTSD. It's an actual thing that's causing you to, feel and act certain ways about certain things. Because once someone says it's this, then it's like, oh shit, okay, so now that's on my mind. And, I mean, I'm seeking help, so I'm in the right place to at least try and do something about it. But it is sort of like, well, what do you do with that information? Like, I think my mum wanted to get me officially tested for, like, autism, because I'm a bit autistic. And, she, I've got a niece, not a niece, a cousin that's very, very, like, heavily autistic. So obviously my mum sees that and then sees me and thinks, oh, maybe I should get into... But so I never have been officially tested for that. But then I do think, like, even if I did, what would I do with that information? Like, I don't know if there's any kind of benefits I could claim. I don't know if I'd even want to. If that would be a thing that I'd think, oh yeah, now I can get benefits for this and that. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I care enough. And so with being told, PTSD is you, it's like, well, that's cool, but like, now what do I do with that? What can I do with that? Well, you can get help, and that's, like I say, that's what I'm sort of aiming to do, little by little. I know maybe this is a load of like fucking shut up. Talk about goblins, Ewan. Talk about Gun Viking. When's the next Gun Viking coming out? But some people do say they like hearing about me and what I'm dealing with, what's going on in my life currently. So there's some of that for you, friendly listeners. Yeah, so I'm feeling a bit weird lately because of those kinds of things. A little bit unsure of certain things. Just trying to keep on doing what I do, you know. The commissions I've had, this is the white's too white. It's way too bright. Oh fuck, that's ruined that. Personally, I feel that's ruined. Let's throw some marker pen in there unnecessarily. Yeah, the commissions have taken me a little while to get through. I'm kind of struggling to stay motivated. Not to say, oh, it's not my fault, it's the PTSD, but like, I think going to therapy is bringing a lot to mind and keeping things in my head that would not have been there previously. So maybe that's just got me a little bit, I don't know, a little bit anxious, fearful, I don't know, feeling feelings and stuff about things. So I'm very, very gradually getting through commissions and things. So if you are waiting on one currently, it will be done. I'm just, you know, things, man, things. Not that happy with it. But it's you know, fucking, it's whatever, innit? Let's draw this guy. Let's draw him more interesting. Yeah, I don't really have much more to say on that. Bit of a weird one this week, I guess. Hey, I'm going to talk to you about this guy I know who took his own life. Oh no, actually I won't, because that might have been in bad. Which just goes to show, for all of the horrible things I say and do to myself and others, I do think sometimes. I'm not just going to put that out there. If I started to, like I say, and then I realised, nah, probably best not. And like I say, I think I was using the dead person to forward my own sort of arguments for things. So that's not really, it's not on, is it? And there's enough people who will do that in a more sort of cynical way in the world, so maybe we don't need more of that. From me, we just need drawings. Look, it's Bart the Simpson. I should be drawing Marge, shouldn't I? No, sexy Marge. Nice big-titted, sexy Marge Simpson. That's what we need more of, sexy Marge Simpson. Brown. Sort of works for a shadowy kind of yellow colour. Brown. That was a debate. There you go. It's a topic I can end with. So I used to draw loads of Simpsons porn when I was younger, when I was like in my teen years. Because I found, obviously there is Simpsons porn. I didn't really have good internet growing up. So I maybe saw a couple of images here and there. So I was aware it was a thing that existed, but it wasn't, especially not in the amount that it is available now. It wasn't really available to me. So I used to draw my own. I drew a lot, like a lot, and it got bad in terms of content. Bear in mind, the Simpsons are a family, and I drew all of them. So I drew that a lot. One issue, I experimented, but one issue I came across, among other things, was whether to draw the nipples pink, because I know nipples can be a variety of sort of shades and colours. To draw the nipples pink, because, you know, in general, nipples are usually pink on, you know, Caucasian families, people rather, or to draw them like a brown, because it's like more of just a darker yellow. I've done some orange ones. Did some orange ones. Yeah, so I tried orange, a few shades of brown. On Marge, I even did blue ones, which I quite liked here and there. Maybe not every time. I don't want to see blue nipples all the time, but for one or two pictures, I think blue nipples are quite good. But yeah, so it was a near constant, like, back and forth of, oh, should the nipples be pink, like, you know, nice bright pink nipples, or should they be like a brown? So when it comes to, you know, doing shadowy parts of the white is too white. I need to get a white pencil if I'm going to do white penciling. I'll figure something out. I don't know if I preferred either one. I guess it's maybe a personal choice, a personal preference thing. Like, brown nipples are good. The brown nipples are more realistic. And pink good for a visual sort of like thing, good aesthetically. Pink nipples are good. Brown nipples look more realistic, and then if you're going really like aesthetic-y, arty, blue nipples or whatever. It depends. I guess in that case you make them work. I drew Patty and Selma I quite liked them. Like, I liked how sort of like rough and grimy they were, with unshaven legs and their sort of like, you know, overweight bodies and stuff. Big fleshy, hangy, overweight tits. Because they point that out in the show, when like Bart and Lisa have to stay at their place, and then Bart's rummaging through their closet and he finds this enormous like cone bra, because they just have like big, enormous like tits that a larger woman might have. There we go, we're giving Marge some nice big tits. So yeah, I draw that a bunch. And if you're doing that, it can be quite cool to give Patty and Selma like nipples that reference the colour of their dresses. Because like I can never remember which is which, but one wears like a more pinkish purple and one wears like a more bluish purple in general. So it's quite cool to make their nipples those colours, because then it matches up with the fucking thing, can't it? See, you got to put thought into your porn and shit, and just draw tits and things. You've got to have a reason. The hairline's very high up. And that's what I tried to do. I tried to make it art. I really, really wish I still had some of those drawings, but they all got thrown away for fear that they'd be found and I'd be outed as a purveyor of filth, which now I am happily now, but as a young teenager, I was maybe, I don't know, 15, 16 when I was doing all this shit. It wasn't the best thing, you know. If I got found out doing that, I don't know what people would have said, what I would have had done to me. People would have gone, Ewan, is this The Simpsons? Is this Lisa? You. No, I never did that. That's a lie. You can't prove it. You can't prove it at all. You bastards, the lot of you. So that was some fun, you know. The fun I had as a youngster. Nah, look at me. What a fucking waste.